competitive sport is not only about what you do, it's also about what your competitors do.
Yeah.
Right? One of them is the paint sector. You entered in 2019. 5 years hence, you managed to do about 2,000 crores, just about broken even on the EBITDA front, not yet on PBDIT. What is it that makes this industry so difficult to penetrate into, where the top leadership still belongs to the couple of players who've been there for almost 40, 50 years? What have you learned here, and what are your targets here?
Yeah, I think the paint industry is an industry in which I have really appreciated and understood the power of the brand. I think brand recall is extremely vital, extremely important, and distribution. So if you look at the number of touch points the leading paint players have versus the number of touch points we have, we're not even in the ballpark, right? So, and it's difficult to get distribution because does the country really need another paint player, right?
It seems like, because that's what some of the largest groups of the country have announced, and they've set themselves a tall target as well of 10,000 crores in the next 3 years. I mean, how does one get there?
Yeah, it's amazing. The company that you're referring to has made a huge capital investment. They've invested in 7 manufacturing facilities, I think 8 manufacturing facilities across the country, 5,000 crores of investment, setting up the capacity, as much capacity as the number 2 player has today. I don't think it's a capacity game. Yeah. I think it's a demand game, and how are you going to get that demand from the end consumer? How are you going to get that demand from the interior designers, from the architects, from the painters, from the contractors, and from the retailer at the end of the day, and the end consumer? So we have been building our business, block by block, and last year we crossed 2,000 crores. This year we're very confident of crossing 3,000 crores, and it is our aim that by 2028 we want to cross 10,000 crores.
Okay. And how much of that 10,000 crores would be captive, and how much of that would be off the decorative? Because I'm sure a large part of the 2,000 crores also comes in from some of your captive consumption.
Yes. So last year we did about 1,200 crores of decorative sales and about 900 crores of industrial. This year we are likely to do about 1,800 crores in decorative and about 1,200 crores in industrial. Going forward, our aim is to be a 70% decorative player and 30% industrial. So when we hit 10,000 crores, we want 7,000 crores to come from our decorative business and 3,000 crores to come from industrial. Of that 3,000, about half will be captive.
And what about the earnings there? Because I mean, not only are we chasing top line, we're chasing bottom line as well. 5 years in, you've just about managed to break even, at least on the operational front. Yeah. With the investments that are required, what's the path to profitability here?
Yeah, so our industrial business is very healthy. It makes an EBITDA margin of close to 12 to 15%. It's in the decorative business where we've been pumping in advertising and promotion a lot of money. So as compared to like an Asian Paints that does about 3% of their top line on advertising, we spend close to 20% of our top line on advertising. So as our revenue grows, this percentage will come down. And this year we are planning on breaking even on the decorative side and making about 12 to 15% on the industrial side. So overall, this year will be the first year where the company will be PAT positive. And then next year we would look to make about 4 to 6% on the decorative side, continue on the industrial side, and then keep improving that and get to the market norms, which is about 14 to 16% on the decorative side over the next 3 years.
What's happening in the cement space? What are your targets here? What are you eyeing? Are there any assets up for sales that you're looking at?
We're about to file our DRHP, so I won't be able to make comments on it. But our target is that we want to go from 20 million tons, which we are today, to 60 million tons over the next 5 years. And we have secured enough limestone mines through the auction process to grow organically. Right. At the same time, we're continuously evaluating inorganic opportunities. And with the added impetus on Andhra Pradesh and Bihar from the government, we are very excited about the infra spending that's going to happen. So I think we should see the industry grow between 8 to 10% on the volume front this year. So that means an incremental 30 to 40 million tons of incremental demand should come online. There is a jostle for market share. You have a very aggressive number 2, a very aggressive number 1, very aggressive number 3, very aggressive number 4. Everyone is...
It's like the Olympics, right? It's a margin of errors.
Yeah, everyone is not wanting to lose an inch.
So what's your right to win here?
I think for us, our right to win is the fact that we have a lot of synergies with the group. The waste product that comes out of the blast furnaces goes straight into making cement. The waste product that comes out of the thermal power plants, the fly ash, goes directly into making cement. Due to our ports and port infrastructure, we have a very big advantage on the logistics cost. So we will always remain a very low cost producer of cement, and that's how we want to grow. We're also the greenest cement available in the world. And I think as the ESG factor increases for real estate players and for EPC players, they will start moving and preferring greener products. So I genuinely believe that if you don't get to 60 million tons by the end of this decade, you will not be relevant in the market. You will be a small player. And that's what we're focusing on. Obviously, once we have some dry powder after the IPO, then we can look at some.
When is the IPO likely to be?
We're going to file very imminently, and we hope that, definitely within this financial year, we would be going public.
And what's the money that you're looking to raise?
I'm not able to disclose that because all the regulations.
Let's talk about the automotive space as well right now. I mean, MG Motors. Everyone's looking at what your plan is out here as well. What are the targets? I mean, a lot happening in the auto space. You have large players, again, similar to what you're doing in the paints business, similar to what you're doing in the cements business. What's the plan here?
If you look at the EV space, today MG is the second largest player in the EV space with only two products. We have the ZS EV and the Comet. And we have about a 26 to 30% market share in the electric vehicle space. Going forward, we're going to be launching new models. I think because of the impasse of, because of Galvan and what happened between India and China, and because the company was owned by the Chinese 100%, there were a lot of approvals and permissions that the company was not getting. And as a result, the company was not able to bring in any investment into India, and hence no new models was actually launched by MG other than the Comet, which is a very niche two-door product.
So how many new products in the next couple of years?
So we plan on bringing our first new product by Diwali this year, and then every 3 to 4 months we plan on bringing a new model. So next year we're targeting at least 4 new launches, and then going forward we plan on bringing in new models.
You have an aspirational market share target here?
So we believe that the Indian auto market by the end of the decade would be about 10 million passenger vehicles, from today about 4 million. And we would like to have a 10% market share.
From where we are right now to when we talk just before LA 2028, what do you think the group will be looking like in terms of revenue, listed companies, and the targets that you have? Olympics to Olympics. Let's talk about that. We speak quarter to quarter. Let's talk Olympics to Olympics.
I think, if you look at JSW Group today, we have 3 listed entities, a combined market cap of about 50 billion. And we have a group turnover of about 24 billion today. Over the next 4 years, we anticipate that another 3 companies of ours would go public: JSW Cement, JSW One Platforms, and JSW Paints. These are the 3 companies, and maybe MG as well. So that's between Paint and MG, I'm sure one of them will go public by then. In terms of revenues, I think we are looking at growing at a 13 to 15% CAGR, dollar CAGR. So we would like to be double of the turnover that we are today. So we would like to be a $50 billion turnover group. Market cap, I think the markets will decide. There are very different views on multiples and valuations, but I hope we can cross the $100 billion mark. That would be a great achievement.